Hey kids, welcome back to Honestville. I've got an exciting episode planned for us today. We're going to take a little bit of a change of pace actually. But before we do that, I do have some naming recommendations, some of which were suggested quite a while ago and I missed them, and so I'm going to kind of backtrack and do those. First of all, I'm just going to do them in order. So Connor O'Neill requested that a neighborhood be named Dexterville, which I think is cool. I'm going to kind of take this neighborhood here, centering around this train station, and call it Dexterville. So let's do that right away. Oops, Dexterville. There we go. Maylale, quite a while ago, requested that there be a beach on Lady Lake, and that it be called Lady Lake Beach. And so I think a good spot might be kind of here, sort of near the school at Pioneer Head. So let's do that. Let's drop a beach down. It's always good when people request like parks, because as many of you will know watching my videos, I tend to neglect building parks. So let's just do that for now. And we'll call that Lady Lake Beach. Maylale had also recommended, Mount Ozark, which I have named. I've actually named a whole tile Mount Ozark. So I'm just going to cross these off my list. And Raymond K made a really cool suggestion for the name of a church. I just have to find a church. I meant to do this off camera. Find the church, I mean, and there's one. Is this church already named? Nope. Okay. He recommended that I name the church Saint Bernard of Hildesheim, who is apparently the closest thing to the patron saint in Catholic Christianity of city planners. There's some really cool history behind Saint Bernard of Hildesheim, apparently. So that's really cool. I thought that was a great suggestion. Kind of goes along with some of the suggestions about, you know, naming roads after philosophers and major city planners, which I'm going to come back to at some point, by the way. But that pretty much covers off the naming for this episode for now. And in other news, I have updated to the NAM 38. Really interesting. When I started this series, the NAM 37 had just come out. During the time when I was not really recording episodes, they did another release. It's really interesting. It took them 3 years to get NAM 37, Network Addon Mod version 37 out, and I think partly, silver linings of the coronavirus situation. A lot of the games that I'm playing, I'm seeing like more work on mods and stuff. I think people have a lot of free time, and so yeah, the Network Addon Mod 38 was released only, I guess, 2 to 3 months after version 37, and from what I hear, version 39 is already in the works. So I'm going to try and keep the Network Addon Mod up to date. We may encounter some weird glitches, things that break or don't work. I'm pretty confident from what I've read in the patch notes that it shouldn't break anything major. If it does, I think we should be able to fix it. But I have kept backups. I have kept backups of the region and also just the old version of the mod. I have all the old installer files and stuff. So, we should be able to fix anything that breaks from the update. I think it should be fine though. I'm not that worried about it. I'm getting Steam overlay shit appearing in the bottom right corner. I really should find a way to disable that. I know there is a way to disable it. I just need to do that. However, I've been noticing like Steam and Discord overlay stuff popping up every once in a while I do these videos, and thus far I have not bothered to disable it, but I really should. Right, so for this episode, I'm going to go out to the regional view now that our naming is done. I've come up with an idea, basically, about how I want to proceed with this region. When I came up with the idea for Honestville, there's a few guiding principles, as some of you will recall, having mostly to do, I think the most important one for me is actually really testing out the residential halving mod, and I keep harping on that and I keep talking about it, but I do want to do it. I want to keep building the city with that mod and kind of see how we end up, like what the population of the central area ends up being. So you'll notice that there's Mount Ozark, by the way. For Mailale had requested Mount Ozark, so this is you can see in the transportation view. I'm going to assume that this little mountain here is actually called Mount Ozark, and maybe these are, I don't know, the Ozark Hills or something. But there'll be a town probably in this little valley here called Mount Ozark. I think that makes sense. But for the region, we were working on rail a lot last episode, and I've kind of decided that I want to build the rail ahead of time. One of the principles I talked about was expanding the transportation networks kind of naturally with the city, but I think it's going to make more sense, and it's going to kind of kick things down the road to actually build out the rail in advance. And I want to build a highway ring road. I want to, and it's going to be real, the RHW real highway. I want to build a highway ring road, and I want to build that in advance of expanding the city to kind of structure the region to a certain degree. I don't know, in some ways I think that goes against my initial idea of gradually expanding the road network. But I think it's going to be worthwhile. I think it's going to kind of force me to do that, because that's the thing. I tend to, as I build these cities, if I don't make a highway plan in advance, I tend to sort of just not build highways. And I wanted to play around with some of the new network add-on mod from version 37 and also version 38's highway stuff. I want to play around with that. So I've created all of the wards of what we're going to consider kind of the central city here. So there's 7 wards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there will be outlying towns. I'm kind of imagining that outside of these 7 tiles, we'll start to be in a kind of suburban agricultural area. So maybe kind of suburban areas here and an agricultural area here, and also some agriculture out here and stuff. And then all of this will kind of be inner city stuff. But yeah, so I think we'll start actually with the highway. And my idea was for a ring road that kind of goes around the outskirts of the city. And probably squeezes in here and goes through town and stuff. I'm probably not going to build the parts that actually go through town quite yet. We'll see how that ends up. Because I think there has to be a highway that kind of squeezes through here somehow. Possibly going over the hills or something like that. I think we are going to want a highway going north here. And then we'll obviously want a highway kind of going in this valley here. This valley has got a lot of potential in terms of the city kind of snaking outward to the east and stuff. And then here we'll have lots of space for more elaborate highway designs. Maybe a big highway that kind of goes this way and a big highway that kind of goes this way. But I want to build kind of an inner city ring. And I think that there will be spurs off of that ring that either cross through or kind of connect up to the central city, but we're going to leave that alone for now. That is something that I will add later, but for now I want to just get the ring going, and I don't want it to be too boxy. Like, I want to resist the temptation to kind of build everything square, but I do want it to kind of, loop around, really make a loop here. Maybe tighten that loop here through the northeast ward. And for now, I'm going to kind of not have any highway going through the central tile. So let's start maybe. I'm just trying to think of where the best place to start this is. Let's start in northwest ward and really in the center of the tile, and just kind of work down to southwest ward. We'll go diagonally across this ward here, connect it up to south wards, and then pretty straight across south ward here, connecting up to southeast ward. And like I said, we'll connect that highway up to the central city eventually. Also to make some decisions as to which highway I'm going to use. By the way, I have created these tiles on easy mode to give us some more money to be able to accomplish this. I don't particularly want to. I don't think it makes sense to start with a limited budget if we're going to do this kind of highway thing. So there is kind of a hilly area here. I don't really mind the highway changing elevation. If you look at highway development in urban history, typically doesn't necessarily follow. You know, a lot of the time, highways sort of aggressively carved through the terrain. So let's see here. Gonna have to decide what width of highway I want. I think that this inner city ring is not going to be a particularly wide highway. I think it's probably also going to be elevated. So let's see. Well, I guess we'll start with the starter piece. Let's at least start the highway on a somewhat flat terrain. Maybe around here. I do want it to be in the center of the map. And I gotta decide. So we got RHW4. That's MIS. RHW3. RHW6, I think, is what I'm thinking, or possibly like 6C. I quite like. I gotta think about neighbor connections. I don't know which ones work with neighbor connections. If I need to do a transition, I could also do 8. RHW8 would be a good candidate for an inner city ring. 7. Certainly not 10. I think we'll go with 6. I think we'll go with a 6-lane highway for the inner city, and this may change. I will certainly consider changing this at a later date as we do the detail work of the highway network, and particularly things like the off-ramps and stuff like that. I may not even bother building off-ramps for now. I really just want to draw the contours of this ring road. I'm kind of tempted to have the highway go around the edge of these hills, though. That could be kind of cool. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. I think I'm gonna do with the. I think I'm gonna go with 6C elevated. I just want to see here. Let's actually start it up here a bit, just so that we have some space, because I'm gonna probably want to go diagonal and stuff. So let's go with that. And I'm not sure how feasible the diagonals are gonna be. Yeah, this is one of these ones. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to expand because it's a 3-tile network. Like, okay. But yeah, I wanted to get going on this. Kind of sooner rather than later. And I know that the way the highway is designed might not quite make sense for the city yet, but it will once the city expands. And we'll build all sorts of interchanges and stuff like that. Okay, let's go over diagonal now. Ooh, yeah. See, I knew that this would be a problem. Okay. I might want to go with the. The 6S. We'll see. Maybe I'll start with the inside edge first and see if that works better. Yeah. I think we have to drag this out like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's working better. These are always a bit weird to do in the diagonal, and we may have to kind of edit. Ooh, Jesus. We may have to edit some of these later. Like that. But yeah, so this episode I'm going to really focus on getting that network built. At least the kind of contours of it, as I mentioned. Let's go back straight here again. Have I done that correctly? I don't think so. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, we need to do this strategically. I have been doing a bit of work on. Oh Jesus. Okay. I've been doing a bit of work on just highway construction and stuff off screen and on Twitch. I was on Twitch on Monday, and I will be on Twitch every. Okay, I need to start with the inside edge, I think. Oh, starting from this tile. Not exactly sure why this is causing me so much difficulty here. Do I need to use some kind of puzzle piece? I kind of doubt it, though. Like, why is this not working? Maybe if I just drag it out. Oh, fuck. It's all about these, like, drag patterns and stuff. Okay, wait a second. I think that looks promising. I think if I take the middle tile and curve it over, it'll work. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the key. I say that, and then... Oh, for fuck's sake, man. I'm tempted to restart this as, see, now that works. No, it doesn't. Restart this as the separate highway, because I think it's going to be easier to work with. It's the 6S. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to restart this as the 6S, because this is not working. Yeah, okay. In fact, exit without saving. I may end up editing this episode a bit if there's really long periods of me fucking up, but we'll see. I might leave it in too. So the thing is, like, some of you guys who are watching are very experienced players, and you know, you'll know how to do whatever I'm trying to do. I can imagine it being very tedious to watch someone sort of figuring something out, basically. But some of you guys are have started playing the game more recently, so it might be interesting to see. So I'm gonna try and balance that, basically. All right, so I'm gonna go with 6S. I want 6S elevated. The elevated highway might cause us some trouble in the long run as well. I know that generally speaking, when new pieces are developed, they tend to develop them first for the non-elevated highways. But yeah, this is going to be a lot easier to work with for sure. Okay. Yeah, much easier. And we'll start with the inside edge here. Yeah. Yeah, I think it might even be almost necessary to work with the... Yeah, see, it just takes more space basically on the diagonal. I don't think you can have it be closer together there. This gap here is a bit weird in my opinion. The gap on either side of it. But the thing is, the highway, as we build the interchanges and stuff, the highway will evolve over time, for sure. I may delete whole sections of it and redo them. Again, the idea here is really to just draw the contours of the region quickly, and then as we do the detail work of building the city, I will come back to this and make it look nicer. Just turn over Oh, fuck. There we go. Why is it doing that? Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, I might edit stuff out. That of me just, like, screwing up this stuff, basically, but I might just leave it in, too. Okay. I want this to be kind of, yeah, I want this to be closer together, if possible. Can we go like this? One more tile like that, and then, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, it's a little bit weird how it, like, seems to require there to be a gap there. And I'm sure, I have a feeling I'm gonna get, you know, someone is gonna comment and say, like, you're doing it wrong, and like, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But the idea, I really want this to be a very compact inner city highway. Like this section here, I could almost imagine having it be ground level, but certainly the part that kind of goes through the densely populated area of the city, I think, is going to be definitely more of a dense. Okay, let's go like that. Try not to fuck things up here. Starting to get the knack of this. And I imagine, like I imagine that large sections of this highway will be redone later and a little bit more interesting. I know it's all kind of straight lines right now, but yeah, I want the inner city part of this highway to be, I think we're gonna go south, straight south now. Nope. No. Okay, can I? Nope. I need it to turn. How did I get it to turn? Nope. Wait though, I can start. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Do that. And we're gonna go straight south. I want this to like that. No. Can I? Oh, okay, that works. What the fuck, man? Oh, now I've fucked everything up. Okay, let's see here. Nope. There we go. Okay, so I need this to extend out there, and I want it to be tight again. Okay, that is not what we want. It's got to be here. Oh, okay. Something is not working there, but I'm gonna just do this for now. Get this part done. Yeah, I want it to be a really, really compact highway. 3-lane inner city highway, kind of FDR style. If you know the FDR on the east side of Manhattan, or you know, because really, like I'm designing this in advance, but I'm imagining that this highway would have been built. Okay, what the actual fuck? Yeah, it really doesn't want to do this. Let's try and extend it from this side. There we go. Thank you. There's always a way to do it. Now, I'm curious what the neighbor connection situation is going to be here. I think that's just okay. We'll find out. We'll find out what it looks like on the other side for sure. So that's good for now, for this stretch of it. What happened there? Hello? Oh man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. Okay. try and fix that before we leave this region tile. There's no reason this shouldn't work. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it is going to look a little bit boxy for the time being, which I accept. But we will, it will, as the city expands, we will try and make it look a little bit more natural. And it's going to have, you know, exits and all sorts of neat loops and stuff. But like I said, I just want to get it, kind of into the city. Like maybe this could even just be a straight line there. I don't know that it's really worthwhile to do that. We'll see. We'll see what makes sense. So we're going to go straight here and then down around here, and then we're going to come up around there. And I think it's going to be fairly tight to the contours of the city, sort of like this. I might want to see if I can find some curvy pieces or whatever. We'll see. We'll see. I think the neighbor connection needs to be maybe down here-ish. Where has the highway popped up here? What's the connection looking like on this side? Oh no! Okay, I need to use a neighbor connection piece. Let's go back. Yeah, I think there are neighbor connection pieces. Let's go back over. Yeah, I don't know whether there's going to be like a central city expressway. Sure. Okay, let's just give ourselves some space here. And in here, I know that I saw, and I don't think I've done this before. Neighbor connection pieces, real highway neighbor connection pieces. Use home N key to rotate the puzzle piece and use tab to cycle through different tabs. Blah 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 blah. Okay. All real highway neighbor connections are required to use neighbor connector pieces to ensure properly functioning neighbor connections. Otherwise, only freight trucks will use the RHW. Interesting. Okay. So, invisible loop connector. North. Is that like a north arrow? I don't quite understand. Oh, I can tab through. Okay. I want this, I think. 6S neighbor connector. I think that's what I want, right? Oh, I want 6S elevated. And if I can't have it elevated, I will go to the ground. 6S elevated. Okay. That looks correct to me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. Come on now. Why is the... what's going on here? Huh, well... do I need to build the connection first and then plop this on top of it? I'm gonna try that. Try a couple of more things, and if I do not succeed, then I will resolve this problem off screen. This highway is not going to be used in this episode anyway. I highly doubt it. 6C elevated real highway 6S neighbor connection. That's not helping at all. Indeed not. Okay. What I'm going to do for now, what I'm going to do for now is this. Okay, and I will consult with the SimCity 4 gods, or someone is going to probably tell me in the comments you're doing it wrong or something like that, and feel free to, and I will resolve this at that point. I will resolve the question of neighbor connections. I'm just going to use this to mark the connection for now. We're going to build the highway, and I'm going to figure out how to do that off screen because I clearly do not understand it. So let's go out and continue building this highway. We're going with 6S the whole way. For those of you who are totally new to the network add-on mod, the 6S is like separate. I think of it as separate and combined. Where am I going with this though? I'm going to go down here and like kind of connect it up there. Okay. So that's separate and combined. The separate one allows you to have the lanes like they could split. There could be like a gap in the center of them. Very useful for more complicated interchanges and stuff. Let's just zoom right in here to make sure I get this right. 6S. Oh, this is ground level. 4. And the 6, so it's RHW. For those of you who are new to new to these features, it's RHW is real highway, and the 6 indicates the total number of lanes of the highway. So this is a 6-lane highway, and the S indicates that the two directions are kind of in separate bits. And then you just go here and you click the RHW2. That's like the standard like 2-lane. If I build one there, it's just like a standard 2-lane road, and that can be yeah, okay, we're good. And then you drag out from that, and it's a flex piece in the sense that it will transform into whatever the starter piece is telling it to do. So just to give you a mini tutorial, I am going to do some network add-on mod tutorials. They are, as you can probably tell, I don't build a lot of highways in this game. I'm not a big highway freak, but so I won't be, when I do my network add-on mod tutorials, I'm probably not going to be focusing too much on highway interchanges and things like that. I'm going to be focusing more on the kind of basics, the real basics of how to navigate the network add-on mod, and like what's a flex piece, what's a puzzle piece, how to cycle through the puzzle pieces, things that I think, I'm not like an expert on every single network add-on mod piece, but I want to do a tutorial, or a short series of tutorials on the kind of things that I think would turn off a complete beginner to using the features. I can distinctly remember when I first discovered the network add-on mod years ago. There were certain parts of it that I really just didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand. I don't even think I knew how to hit tab to cycle through different pieces. The real basics like that I think are gonna be a barrier for someone who's never modded this game before. And given the nature of the network add-on mods, let's kind of curve this over here. Given the nature of the network add-on mods, it's not, there are clear instructions on how to do things if you know where to look for them. But if you don't know where to look for them, it would be very easy to kind of be turned off by it. So that's what I think I can contribute in terms of a tutorial that's going to be it's going to be the most useful for beginning players. That's what I think is going to be the most. Okay, no, not like that. There we go. Okay, and we're going to need to do the my little neighbor connection temporary fix for now. That one like that. There we go. No. I want this exactly how I want it. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to use the Maxis Highway for the neighbor connection for now. I'm sure that someone will comment on this video and tell me what I'm doing wrong in terms of the... I don't know what's going on here. This is suspicious to me, but I think it's just... I think it will refresh and kind of fix itself. I'm not going to worry about it too much for now. But yeah. There's going to be a lot more interesting stuff going on with this highway eventually, so... I know it looks kind of boring and boxy and right now, but it will be more interesting later. But yeah, so I think that would be the most useful thing that that I can do in terms of a tutorial for Network Addon Mod is really just talk about the basics and then do some videos on some of the ones that I have found the most useful over the years. You know, rail stations and some of the transit stuff and little roundabouts and. Okay, let's do this. One's going to go straight across all the way over to Southeast Ward. Well, I'm just going to, you know what? I'm having a thought. I'm having a thought here. Go away. I think it might actually be more useful to... Okay, whoa, there we go. I'm wondering whether we should actually go kind of across the central city here. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I'm going to go in there, and then we're going to curve that way. And I'm actually imagining it maybe going under this hill here and kind of popping up in Mount Ozark. Or possibly just going through here and then turning into North Ward there. I think that might be an interesting way to do things. Or we actually go through Honestville Central. Now, that's going to be a challenge because of this rail loop here. I actually don't think I want it going through that rail loop, so I think I do want it going through here. Yeah, I think I want it going through this little bit here. And we'll see. Anyway, I'll be very curious to know. One of you is going to tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong with these neighbor connections. I guarantee it. Which is awesome. You guys have made lots of useful suggestions. When I was on Twitch the other night, Monday night, someone was telling me that I should be getting a slope mod and things like that. Other things that some of you have, talked about in the comments, and it is absolutely useful. I have a lot of experience in this game, and in terms of the mechanics of the game, stuff like that. And there's, as some of you more experienced players will know, there are aspects of the game that I'm like less good at, less aware of, and it's not a pissing contest as far as I'm concerned. I really don't, I'm not competitive about. Wait a second, what? I know what I've done wrong here. I'm using the level 1 elevated. I'm gonna stick with the level 1 elevated for now. That I know. I think I've just figured it out. I'm gonna stick with the level 1 elevated now, and we may end up doing parts of this highway on level 2. I think we probably will be using more level 2 than level 1, but that's okay. I can redo that later. Let's stick with level 1 now. I think the neighbor connection is a level 2 connection. I just figured it out. I totally forgot that there was a separate level 2 and level 1 for this. Pretty obvious. I'll try one when I do this connection. I'll try and do it correctly. I'm going to go straight across the north of the city here, or the north of this tile anyway. That's hilarious. It's funny. I think that's it. I think it's the level thing. One tip I've found for these highways is the yellow line is in the middle of the lane in terms of the direction of traffic. It is somewhat important. Let's experiment with that. Let's do a transition from level 1 to level 2 if I can easily find that, and let's see if I can make the neighbor connection work by doing that. Height transition deprecated. Nope. Flex height is what I need. Level 0 to level 1. Level 0 to level 2. This is one level. Level 0 to level 1. Real highway 2. level 0 to level 2. Is there no level 1 to level 2? That seems wrong. Maybe if I do a starter piece. God, I'm imagining myself having to redo this entire highway network. Which, if that's the case, that's okay, man. I can deal with that. Let's see what there is in terms of level 2 as well. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that it has to do with that the neighbor connection that we saw there was level 2. There might be a level 1 neighbor connection too that I just missed, so that's another option. RHW3, RHW6S level 2. Okay, let's plop down a couple starter pieces here and see if that works. Wait a second, come on now. Do the thing. What did it just do? Did it? Is there a, oh, no, it's not doing a height transition. Bastard. And has it dropped this down to level, I'm not happy. There we go. I'm gonna take a close look at the height transition here and see if there's something I'm missing. Level 0 to level 1 on slope transition, level 0 to level 2, 1 level flexible height transition. Default is, okay, so what if I do that? What if I drop 2 of these down here? Bingo! Fucker. Oh, I'm on the wrong tile, aren't I? Yep. Thank you. Okay, let's be careful with that. Try not to break anything. And now, I'm pretty sure, because that was what I was seeing there on the neighbor connections, I'm pretty sure that the problem we were having is the height. Yeah, it says ERHW4, but or 8S, 6C, 8C, 6S, correct. But it doesn't mention the level. That's something that if the NOM developers were watching, I would suggest that the description of this, the tooltip, mention that it's level 2, because it is. And I'm curious how this works. I don't see the arrow. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, so that's not the problem. That is not the problem. Or I'll try one more thing. Or I need to drag and create the correct connection, and then put in. Or maybe it goes on the other side. That would be another thing that would make sense to me. Let's just see what happens if I. Neighbor connection pieces. We're going to find that one again. 6S. Oof, I can't even see what direction it is. That looks like it might actually work to me. I mean, it's ugly as sin, but that looks like it might actually work to me. Like, it's not adjusting to the level correctly. I might want to like level the terrain or whatever, but that looks like it may actually work. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave that like that and pop over to the next region. And once again, I'm sure one of you is gonna tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. And if one of you doesn't, I will figure it out. I'm not gonna just keep going without knowing how these neighbor connections work. This highway is not gonna swing this way. This way. See, I could have gone diagonally across the city, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Could also have it kind of do something more dramatic. Go. I don't think it makes sense to go over that mountain, though. We'll see. We'll see. I'm open to changing the direction of the highway, but I would like it to not go through the central city quite yet. Let's see what it looks like on this side in terms of that neighbor connection. Okay. Nothing. Right. Well, I'm gonna just start building the highway, and yeah. So again, in my view, the network add-on mod doesn't really. Let's start with on the level 2 here. The network add-on mod doesn't really come with a clear set of instructions. And so, for this kind of thing anyway, and so I do think it would be useful to make a tutorial that talks about some of the basic principles of what you need to know to kind of navigate it and figure it out on your own, because most people are going to end up figuring it out on their own, right? Or at least give people enough information so that they kind of know what questions they would ask, you know, if they were on the... What questions they would ask if they were on Centropolis or whatever, right? I'm gonna try and do what I did last time, simply because it sort of looked like it might work, and I don't want to forget to make this neighbor connection work. So, 6S neighbor connection, that's elevated real highway 6S neighbor connection. Okay. I think when I do that, the arrows disappear, which to me is a little bit sketchy, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna go straight. Oh, no. Okay, come on now. It's gonna go straight north. Why? Why are you not working? No. Oh, okay, it works. Can I go closer? Doesn't look good. Oh. That seems wrong. Do I have to just be farther apart? Was that what it was? Figuring out the same thing twice in one episode. Not like that. No, we're not going that far apart. The thing for me that discouraged me from using the network add-on mod, some of these features for a long time was that my interest in the game was always the kind of the real like city planning demographic side of things, and a lot of what discouraged me from learning how to use some of this stuff earlier was simply that like I didn't, this is not what I wanted to spend my game doing. I mean, you know, in the sense that like I wanted to build the city. I didn't want to fuck around with you know, with pieces and like I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna leave it and I'm gonna fix it off screen. And I've got much more patience for this stuff in the last, you know, recently. Oh, I'm also on level 2 here, which is fuck's sake. So I might, we'll see if we end up sticking with level 2 or level 1. I also could have done all of this on ground level. That might have been a smart idea, but I don't think so. I want it to be elevated in the long run, so I'm gonna do it that way. Yeah, that to me made it less interesting for me to invest time in learning how to do this stuff, because it's not what I was playing the game for. I was playing the game to make cities and to watch them grow, and so as soon as I encountered stuff that, you know, wasn't really working easily, at any rate, I would just not use it. I would move on. So for the longest time, I've learned a lot in the last year or so about using Real Highway, because I don't build a lot of highways, but I've learned a lot about using it. But before, I just didn't. I used the Maxis Highway, and because it worked. It worked. And I was much more interested in how things worked than how things looked. And I still mostly am, but you know, I think part of doing this series, and I am going to just do the connection like this again. I'm not that interested in experimenting right now on camera. But yeah, so it's just a matter of, you know, what you want to do with the game. But so I do find there's a lot of really cool stuff with the Real Highway. There's a lot of really cool stuff with the Real Highway, and it is definitely worth experimenting with and worth figuring out in the long run. But what you use, I think that's going to be true for anyone, though. What you use in the network Addon Mod is going to really depend on what you want to do with your city, and what parts of the game you're interested in spending time working on. So yeah. That is kind of like, it's like really boxy, the highway. But that is kind of an artifact of the square tiles. There's not too much you can do to avoid that. I guess it ultimately depends on how you end up planning your cities and stuff. What I'd like to do, actually, so I had started to build a kind of road network here. This is going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to go pop back out for a second. I may want to start this highway in this tile. Maybe we want it to come in through here. I kind of don't think so, though. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're going over the hills. I think we're going to go straight over the hills. I think that's just kind of how it's going to be. Straight over the hills, and we'll have it emerge here, and then we'll have it come out there, and then I'll deal with having it go through the city at a later date. But yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and a lot of the videos, there's lots of videos out there where people have like figured out how to do something really cool in the game, and you know, they're sort of demonstrating what they're doing, which I think is great. That's not really what this series is about. Oops, this is ground level. That's not really what this series is about. In the sense that the you know, Honestville as a series and Plantation Bay is, the idea behind the series is not like, here are a bunch of cool things I figured out how to do in the game, you know, let me show you. It's more like, let's build a city, you know, over a long period of time. Let's build a city and, you know, watch the city evolve. I don't know if that distinction makes sense to people, but so I'm just going to, oh, wait. I actually want this to, let's move it up to this level here. Like, I don't know if that distinction makes sense to you guys, but I think it does. I think there's a little bit of a distinction there, in terms of what that means for what I spend time doing on camera and what I don't. So this episode, you know, is going to be a different, there will be, but I think, you know, because I don't want this series to be just kind of the same as Honestville, or as Plantation Bay, sorry. There we go, that's what I want. Yes, thank you. Can now delete that road. I don't know if I can drag this over the rail. We're going to find out. If I can't, then I won't. But yeah, so like this episode here is going to be obviously me kind of just doing this highway, and then I'm going to switch over. We're going to do some rail as well. And you know, but most episodes are going to be just me building the city. And that's why I don't always, when I encounter a problem that I don't necessarily know how to fix, I often just stop trying in the episodes, and usually I'll try and figure those out off screen. And also on Twitch, which really, if you guys, that's going to be the best way actually to okay, no, this is not what I want. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these corners aren't working properly. I figured it out in the first tile, the first couple tiles, but I have not thus far. I'm gonna go with that, and I will fix that off screen. But yeah, that's why often, like last episode, there was a thing about some kind of viaduct I was working on. I don't even remember, and I was just like, well, that's that. We're not doing the viaduct, and that's that. You know, it's mostly because I want to get on with building the city. It's not because I don't have any patience at all for it and aren't willing to figure it out in the long run. Well, that all worked quite well. See, this is quite low. I kind of feel like that's a lower highway bridge than I would like. Yeah, the 7.5 meter... The 7.5 meter height doesn't... I'm trying to think, like, how tall is, like, a truck? That's a very low overpass. That's a very low overpass, in my view. Okay. Just trying to do that. Just going to extend that road a bit. Yeah, this highway will look more interesting once the city builds up to it. It will look less boxy. We'll end up redesigning bits of the highways to make interchanges work, and you know, it won't look quite this boxy and silly, and it won't have all these stupid little issues that I'm refusing to fix on screen. That maybe almost seemed to work. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go like this. That worked. Not exactly sure why I was having so much difficulty with the corners. Okay. I'm going to be very curious to see how this looks over the elevation here. Almost tempted to do it on ground level. Let's do that. Let's take it down to ground level for the kind of rocky bits here. Might be interesting. Height transition. Don't think I want on slope. Oh no, I want flex transition. That's what I want. Flex height. Level 0 to 1 level. This is what I want. 1 level. Right, and I want it to go down. Okay. Right. let's take it down to ground level now. And we're just gonna go straight over the hills and see what that looks like. Yeah, see, this is gonna go down here. And I'm not sure what the connection's gonna look like in this on this side. I almost want to get a tunnel going through some of those hills, but I quite like driving over hills myself. Whoa, there's some serious lag there. Yeah, I will probably, like, this is something that I'll consider, like, leveling out using the rail or a slope mod if I eventually get that going. But for the time being, once again, I'm just kind of drawing the broad strokes of what this is going to look like. Like, this is, you know, kind of a little bit jazzy here. Might be a way to, I wonder if I can level it just by, I'm just going to try this now out of curiosity. Whoa, these are new. Hybrid rail, new thing with Network Addon Mod 38. I've read about this. I have not tried it yet. And I know there's been a few changes to rail and stuff, but that's actually like the first time I've opened that menu since I installed it, so fun. Oh yeah, that works. Neat. I hope if I delete that. Cool. So that's a neat trick. We can actually fix the slope simply by drawing some rail beside it. Very, very cool. Something to keep in mind. Let's see what that looks like. Whoa, this is really jazzy. Okay. Let's just see. I'm just curious now that we've done that. Let's see what we can do here. Yep. And this bit here. Whoa. Okay, so that's actually giving me a tunnel. Let's not though. Let's keep this on this straight and narrow here. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, see, that's cool though. If I just do it gradually, chunk by chunk, we can create a little almost trench highway here. No, just do that. Just kind of keep these curves gradual. Oh, at some point it's gonna have to go down. Come on now. There we go. No. And then back up. I'll probably have to do something a little bit less intense to make the neighbor connection work here. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to have to. I don't want this to do something fucking weird with the terrain on the other side of this, but that's cool. That's really cool. You know, kind of a slow rolling hill, and it's sort of almost like here. It's almost kind of blasted through the terrain, or elevated. Very cool. I might change how that works. It could be interesting actually it could be interesting to take, rather than do what I've done there, what I might do is level the terrain so that it's perfectly level the whole length. And that could be a kind of almost a highway trench type situation. But it is interesting to see that I can use the rail trick to level it in this way. And you know, there's obviously other ways to do it that might be more realistic. But that was cool. That was an interesting experiment. Yeah, I think we'll probably actually go for a perfectly flat. That's neat. It's created this kind of elevated highway where it's like level on that side, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, that's the highway. That's all the highway I'm going to do this episode. And that's one thing, you know, it'd be really awesome. Maybe I can fix the details on a Twitch stream or something. Try and figure out how those neighbor connections work. I definitely have to. I really do welcome anyone who wants to give me I've done it before, but it's been a long time. Yeah, I like the idea of that highway kind of carving through the hills there. Maybe I'll make that all flat and level, and then it's going to come out here and go into North Ward. And as for what happens here, like, this is pretty square in a way that I don't like. I may end up deciding to go diagonally through Honestville Central to just make it look more natural. I may look at some of the more natural curve options as well, but I just wanted to get the basic contour going of the highway. So for the rail, this episode's getting a bit on the longish side, but for the rail, I'm going to do kind of an opposite approach to what we just did for the highway, in the sense the highway I've built on the outside of the main city tile, and eventually I will either connect it through the city tile by, you know, straightening this kind of diagonal here, or I will, you know, build various kinds of interchanges that make sense depending, and, you know, the course of the highway might also shift. You know, it might kind of go more outward here. It might, you know, I might change the exact trajectory here or something like that to make it look a little bit less boxy and stuff like that. But for the rail, I'm going to go from the inside city and I'm going to work outward. There's going to be straight lines kind of radiating outward from the inner city. And I think for the time being, we're just going to go with the idea for the rail is not that it's the main transit mode. It's more kind of a regional network. So I think that the rail network is going to go outward from the city, either to southwest ward or probably northwest ward. I like the idea of it actually kind of following the coast a bit. At the risk of being a little bit redundant with the highway line there. So maybe we'll go out to northwest ward, and maybe it'll kind of cross the tile more through this area here, and then connect up there, and then there'll be one rail line that just kind of goes straight out here and serves this whole area. So that's what we're going to do. I want to eventually replace the rail station here. I'm going to look around Simtropolis and find like a really cool, this is going to be our central rail station for the entire network. But for the time being, I'm just going to do the rail network. I'm not going to bother with any of the crossings. I'm just going to connect it up to the neighbors, and we're going to take a last little look at, okay, why is that not doing that? Let's just going to do level crossings here. We will be either, this might be viaduct rail, it might be trench rail, it might be something else, but for the time being I'm just going to connect it up to, is this the right ward? Northwest ward, yep, okay. So we're just going to do that for now. And I'm going to create a switch here. Do I want this? I think that's fine. I'm just going to do a switch to the east of the central station. Like that. Kind of a Y-shaped switch here. Well, no, let's actually get this curve first. Come on now. There we go. And this is just going to connect straight down there. So yeah, like some of this might be trench, some of it might be elevated. That is stuff that we'll work out. Is there a Y switch? Yes, there is. Okay, good. So there we go. So that's pretty much it. Let's just pop out to the regional view for a second here and take a look at what that's going to look like. I'm not going to bother extending the lines into the other wards for now, but that pretty much gives us an idea of where the main regional transportation network is going to be situated, and we'll work out the details of that. Let's just take a look at how that looks in the regional view, transportation view. So yeah, you can see this is going to go, this is going to go kind of out here, I think. This one is going to go kind of straight down there. And there'll be other, there might be two highways covering this area. There might be a highway that goes up this way. There might be a second highway ring. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a ring that maybe there'll be a highway that goes off this way and sort of off here and then connects up with various spurs and stuff like that. There may be spurs going inward and stuff like that, but I wanted to create that partly because as the city expands outward, if I just keep expanding it and there's no structure to the transportation network, then you know, it becomes hard at a certain points to get that going. And then as we expand these wards, I will do things like, you know, expand this highway outward, and like I think this highway is probably the highway is going to expand outward here, and the rail is going to kind of cover off. Like northeast ward is mainly going to be kind of rail based, and southeast ward is probably going to have a highway that kind of goes across here, and then we'll see. But I wanted to map that out. One idea that's just occurred to me now actually is if you're watching what I'm doing here and you know you're just thinking like, oh man, there's such a better way to do that. You know, get in touch with me and like, you know, I will even schedule an extra Twitch session, and like we can do it together on Twitch. So if you want to give me feedback on how you'd like to see Honestville expand, I'm not stuck on doing it one way or another. I'm not particularly stuck on doing it one way or another. So just get in touch with me in the comments, or you know, we'll figure it out, and I will just, you know, if Monday night doesn't work for you, then we'll schedule something and actually do it. That's one idea that could work well as well. But I hope so. This is, you know, I hope that this idea for the kind of regional transportation network makes sense to some of you guys, and we'll see how it evolves over time as I like fix those neighbor connections and make it look prettier. And next episode we will get back to just building the city and expanding it outward. But this is going to give us some structure and kind of guide that development. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I will be back next Friday at noon with another episode, and Monday night at 5 p.m. there Eastern Standard Time. For both of those times there will be an episode on Twitch. See you next time. Ciao.